Wake up. It's time for Primal Scream.
Hey, welcome back to the Primal Scream. I'm Matt.
I am Todd.
And tonight we're going to keep it kind of lighthearted.
We're gonna rock it kind of light.
Yeah, so we may talk about controversial things like anal sex or blowjobs, but it's going to be fun things that we talk about.
What's not fun about those two things?
Well, I've never had anal sex.
Me
so
either.
I don't know. Maybe there's
Why'd
going
you
to
have to bring that up? We can let people's minds just wander for a while and at least let us think that we're badasses, but no, we're not.
Why do you have to be a badass to have anal sex?
I don't know. Because you searched out a woman who wanted to.
All right. No,
doesn't work.
It doesn't really work. But hey,
right.
the video that you sent me, the topic of conversation that we're going to start off with tonight, I don't even want to talk about current events. I don't want to talk about the President's State of the Union address. I don't want to talk about any of that stuff. I want to talk about Neil Degrasse Tyson and how fucking awesome he is.
So this came up because I'm a big Bill Moyers fan from PBS. I think he's a really incredible old school journalist for public broadcasting. He had Neil Degrasse Tyson is going to be doing the new Cosmos series on, I believe, is it the Sci-Fi Channel or is it PBS? Oh, shit. No, it's PBS. I'm sorry. And if you don't remember, that is the old Carl Sagan show. And I grew up watching that show as a kid and loved it and was really stoked to hear that Mr. Tyson's going to be doing it because he is such a wonderful speaker and does such a great job with presenting science. And I think what you said a little bit ago about his ideas in religion makes him even more appealing. You know, I don't care what you do. If you believe a certain way, wonderful if that works for you. But don't come and say you have to teach Adam and Eve and tell me that it's science. That's
that's what he was saying to
it's just
the interviewer.
Yeah.
That's what what was it? Bill Moyer?
Bill Moyer, yeah.
That's what he was saying to him. He said, I do not care what you think. Which sounds kind of callous. It sounds kind of cold and shitty. But truly,
no, I don't think so.
Well, I mean, yes, it does.
Why is it callous and shitty when somebody says it's not science?
No. I didn't say that. It sounds shitty when somebody says, I do not care what you think. I know that statement alone sounds a little shitty. But when you are taking it in the context of, I can't change what you think, truly. You're going to think what you want to think, period. And it's not what you think in your head is not going to affect my life.
Right. So he should have said, however way you want to believe is a wonderful way to believe, and I'm glad it makes you happy. That would have been a nice way to say it.
He could have said that was fluffy and rainbows and puppy dog kind of talk. I'm not saying that he said something wrong. I'm just saying when people hear that, they could easily go, oh, well, that was a shitty, callous, cold way of, oh, you're so uppity, you don't care what others. Sometimes you just, there was a guy that I work with. He had made a statement that I thought I really had to check myself because he made a statement and I said, well, that's kind of cool. He goes, you know what, dude, I got to tell you, I don't care if you think it's cool. I'm doing it because this is what I think. I'm not looking for your approval. And I immediately wanted a backlash of emotion and say, you are a dick. I don't think you understand social interactions very well because how you presented that was so shitty. But I checked myself and I thought, you know what? We all should be a little bit more true to ourselves and a little bit less forgiving or asking for forgiveness of everybody else and wanting everybody else's acceptance. You should go by your own compass.
Well, but don't you think that I've been talking to people a lot recently about being conscientious. And so don't you think that, being conscientious is being respectful or kind to somebody else or taking somebody else's feelings as your own and trying to put yourself in their shoes or being empathetic. And so in my mind, that is a dick thing to say, only because, so in other words, you can't say something in a way that tries to get your point across, but also not make somebody feel like shit. Because I'm glad that you checked yourself because you realized he wasn't being mean to you. But at the same time, if I want to hear what you have to say and I'm just listening to you,
Sure.
you saying, "Oh, awesome, that sounds great." Fuck, I didn't ask your opinion, how you felt about it. I just think that's kind of a dick move. I'm just saying that I think you can interact with each other in a way that doesn't require us to, maybe put somebody on edge. If I really felt that way, like somebody, "Oh, good for you," and I was like, "Well, I didn't ask your fucking opinion." I mean, I'd be like, "Oh, well, he's at least being nice to me," or at least he made a nice comment. If I'm not trying to get something from him, then I don't give a shit what he says to me about it because it doesn't matter. So why turn around and say, "Fuck, I didn't want your opinion"?
All right, back to
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, back to Neil deGrasse.
How'd that happen? Where the fuck did we go on that? Jesus.
How did we get
So much for keeping it light. God, my bad. All right. I love Neil. He's such a good guy.
And right before we hit record, we were talking about how animated of a speaker he is, and how that is to me when I watch him talk. And you have to watch him talk. You can't. I mean, just listening to him talk is enjoyable, but watching him talk, you get so much more out of it.
Because he's so excited about it.
Yeah, he is the epitome of a teacher. That's what I see.
Yeah, for sure.
That is
That's a good way to put it.
Perfect way to be a teacher.
Yeah, he is passionate about what his life's purpose is, and he can't wait to share it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that you're right. That pulls you in. I mean, you're right. He's animated and he makes it fun to watch and listen to him. But for me, 50% of it is the passion this guy feels for something. And I think that's for anybody who has charisma, and no matter what job they're in. If you see somebody talking about, I don't know, paper towels because they're paper towel salesmen, and they like, listen, this is the best product out there. This is why I believe in it, and they are passionate about it. It makes you stop and pause and go, "Oh, well, what's this guy about? What's going on over here?" If it is silly as paper towels, but he is like that. He just pulls you in. It makes me want to go to New York and go to the planetarium so I can see what he puts on there.
What if they're like really, really soft paper towels that you could use to jerk off into?
Ew.
Too much?
Yeah, too much.
Too soon?
Yeah, bath tissue's fine. You don't need a paper towel. Jesus, you need a rugged paper towel? You are a badass. I told you you're a badass. I got to use paper towels when I jerk off. Got to be bounty. I'm just saying,
if that guy is that into the paper towels, there's probably an ulterior motive. It's got to be
the quicker picker upper, or it's not good enough for me.
Brawny ain't got shit on this.
If you notice, the brawny guy when he stands there has a little boner. But you didn't know that.
You'll look next time, won't you?
Oh yeah, everybody will. It'll be like an itch in your brain. You won't be able to get rid of it till you look.
God damn it, that guy does have a boner.
It's like those Disney movies.
Ariel.
Oh, I never saw what I thought was a boner. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I never saw it.
Wow.
That's all right.
Yeah, you can't trust anything anymore because everything is digital. If you were to see it on the computer, and if somebody were to post a picture and say, "Oh my God, all these DVD covers were fucked up," and they got to Walmart and this is what they look like, I'd be like, "No, that's fake. That's Photoshop. That's something. I can't believe in it."
Have you seen the movie Rush? It's a Ron Howard movie about these not old, but 1970s Formula One race car drivers. No. Well, it's really a great movie. It's a wonderful movie. But in the movie, there's like, a handful of accidents that are part of the storyline. Mm-hmm. They're all CGI. And you're hard pressed to try to find flaws. You know how CGI almost looks like it's almost like it's too perfect. Like it's so sharp and so crisp that you're just like, "Oh, that's fake," because it looks so good. It doesn't look like human kind of. These wreck scenes, like when the big fat tire, those big slicks they have on, when they hit each other, you can see the ripple in the rubber as the tires pop. And
are they going like slow motion? Or something?
Things slow down, or things happen fast and then it stops in the middle and slows down, slow motion. And you can just see ripples and little pieces of metal flying away, and just like it looks pretty awesome.
It seems pretty awesome, but the reason why it seems fake and it will always seem fake is because that's not how we look at the world.
Right.
That's not how we ever perceive the world.
That might be part of it, but I mean, when it comes to how, think of like what's the Transformers? everything's so fucking shiny and sharp, and you just know it's all fake looking. You know, it just looks fake. It's so nice.
It's amazing. I mean, for somebody to be able to create that visual effect.
Right. That's what I'm saying. These accidents in Rush look like they're real accidents, and I'm not seeing it from. It looks. Some of the things that we see are like what you would see watching NASCAR, and they do a replay and they slow things down so you can see things happening. That's what it looked like. It just looked like they were slowing things down to relive what took place in slow motion, and it looks really, really real. It's crazy.
Yeah, I made the mistake the other day of watching The Matrix, the very first one.
Oh, you didn't?
Well, I had this idea in my head about how amazing it is.
It is amazing.
It is amazing, but because we're so used to the technology and the visual effects and the computer animation of today, when you look at that stuff, it was in its infancy. So you look at that movie and you're like, oh, that's kind of like watching Planet of the Apes. You know what I mean? Like when Planet of the Apes came out back in the day with Charlton Heston, people were probably like, holy fuck, there's people in those monkey costumes.
Right.
Woo! That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
But if you were to compare that with the most recent movie of Planet of the Apes, you'd be like, oh shit, those ape costumes look like
pretty terrible.
Donkey do.
But I think that science is changing. So they talk about technology changing. It seems like as technology changes, science is kind of right behind it, because some of the visuals that I guess are going to be on this show that he showed in that Bill Moyers interview it showed a picture of the black matter or black gravity, as he called it, and it showed almost like a negative picture of the universe.
Right. And
it looked like, he said, like synopsises between planets and things like that. And I thought, fuck, that is mind-boggling. But again, I'm a dumbass. It's hard for me to wrap my head around my kids' math homework sometimes, you know? But he can frame it where it makes me excited. I'm like, oh my God,
it makes it sexy. Kind of. It makes it attractive. Makes it so interesting.
Absolutely.
It makes it so interesting that you want to have sex with it.
It makes science really attractive. And again, that's one of his goals. And it's one of his goals is to make science something that people want to do again. It stopped. And I guess that's one of those, goes back, maybe I don't want to get off on the political thing here, but the idea of R&D, you know, that's how we got the internet. That's how we got a lot of things where we said, hey, this college over here, you guys are really good at this stuff. We're going to throw a bunch of fucking money at you and make this stuff happen. And they do, because they got a bunch of young, crazy kids that want to get into stuff and change the world and all that nutty stuff. And he talks about how that stuff has stopped. You know, we don't have research and development going on like we used to that kind of made the space race happen or allowed us to get into space and do things. To think that one telescope is now, they launched it in the 70s, and it's almost to the edge of our universe looking back at us. It's so far out now. And that's that one that has that record on it. It has an LP record on it made out of gold or something like that has like certain sayings and certain languages and certain symbols on it. Mm-hmm. So if some intelligent life were to find it, I mean, it's getting to the outer edges of our Milky Way galaxy. That's how long it's been going. And they expected the batteries to run out and to be a dead duck now, but it's not. It still sends shit back. So, I mean,
isn't that nuts?
It's incredible. And so it makes me think that, you know, maybe I don't know. I do feel at times that we need to put money into us. You know, we need to bring money back into America and try to get our shit together, get people, you know, taken care of, for lack of a better term for it. And so it's hard for me to imagine spending millions and billions of dollars into something that we could find out about, or, you know, things about space. But if we're not branching out and we're not trying to expand ourselves as a species and as a people, it makes me sometimes wonder if we're holding ourselves back. Discovery keeps us moving forward. You know what I mean? If we sometimes just sit back in our laurels and kind of like, oh, maybe we should sit back and do these things instead of trying to explore what's outside of us. I don't know. I go back and forth quite a bit.
Well, he made two really eloquent statements that were very profound. And he said, when President Kennedy put forth that challenge to the American public and said, we will be the first men on the moon, that ignited so many young people. There was a huge drive in science and engineering and during that time, because people thought that was so fucking cool. Oh my God, here's a goal that we've never been able to achieve. And it just seems so impossible. But that was when there was a huge drive for people in that industry. It's taken a nosedive because, we took away NASA. Pretty much our space program it's done. It's gone.
Yeah.
But we need to put out, he said, we need to have a goal out there. We need to put forth a challenge to young people. And when young people get challenged with something, amazing things take place and people want to go into those fields because there's no other way for you to learn about it besides doing that. So that was one thing that I thought was a great statement. You need to have a goal for those industries to take off.
The best part about it, though, is that he talks pretty consistently about opportunity and what we can aspire to. He's always, his conversations are so positive. We should be reaching for these things. We've always gone outside of ourselves and discovered. We hopped on a piece of wood that we nailed together and we sailed off towards a horizon that we thought could possibly fall off the face of the earth. And so somebody had the balls to do that. We've always had this guile, so to speak, as human beings to search outside of ourselves. You read like Aaron Bunce's book is a good example. There's characters in there who have lived their whole life in a small town. And then they get a chance to be outside that town and they discover things about themselves and the world around them that changes them. And I think that's what everybody does.
Yeah, you just described The Hobbit. The second thing that he said, the second statement that he said that I thought was so amazing. Well, Bill had asked the question, why do we even care to know about dark energy or dark matter? And he said, that's a great question. He said that was a great question. And to give it some relevance, you have to think about, if we were to go back to the 1920s and people would have asked, why do we care to know about the inner workings of an atom or nuclear particles? We wouldn't have had the internet. We wouldn't have had computers and things like that if we hadn't understood quantum physics. All of these things that we enjoy today, because almost everybody has a computer, almost everybody has a cell phone or a smartphone, and we get information this way. We would not have been able to enjoy these comforts that we're so used to without those questions being asked back in the 1920s. But back in the 1920s, they had no idea the implications that these questions or those questions would have had for the future. And again, dark energy or dark matter might have and could possibly have even greater implications for our future. Look at all the shit that one guy was studying was it a snail? Was it a snail?
That nerve agent?
And he found the mucus on the back of a snail, a certain type of snail, is the most powerful painkiller known to man.
With no addictive qualities,
and it's completely non-addictive. Completely non-addictive. Your body does not develop a dependency chemically for it. Holy shit. So if somebody would have came out to me and said, hey, Matt, I need $5 million because I'm studying snails, I'd say, oh, okay, go fuck yourself. I could give two shits less about a snail.
Right.
But what could happen from him discovering that? Whole new medicines could come out. We could live completely pain-free. You could be someday you could be completely awake and having your leg amputated or surgery done on you or something done and you're like, oh, I don't have to worry about pain. Pain's out of there. I know when my leg is broken, but I don't need to feel pain. How many people on a daily basis do not live their lives because of pain?
Right. And that's where you fall back on. Could you imagine what pharmaceutical company gets a hold of this? Because it's going to be the pharmaceutical company from that point on.
I thought
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I thought we were going to stay positive.
I wasn't being negative. I'm just saying that whoever
I
gets
almost got sucked in. As soon as you said that, I immediately started thinking, why does it have to always come back to money? Why does it always have to come back to,
but I think
here's a product and we're going to make our
But maybe it could change things so much that nobody would use anything else. So that one company would have an edge, obviously, but maybe it becomes something that changes fundamentally the way we do medicine and pain control. What would it do to anesthesiologists? What would it? I mean, how would it change just about everything if you didn't have to feel pain anymore? I mean, sure, you'd still have to shut the body down in certain areas, so the breathing was correct and you didn't get all weirded out, hearing the bandsaw go on to, or a drill. To
oh, Jesus. Just being in a dentist's office and you hear that drill.
So, I mean, I just couldn't imagine the implications of some of those incredible finds. What I think is interesting is Virgin Airlines.
I love Virgins. Oh, go ahead.
Virgin Airlines. That the owner is now doing those
privatized
flight to space. Yeah, because I mean, you can get it for $250,000. You can do it. I mean, I think the first one, the officially first commercial one, is going up. And from what I was told, a bunch of stars have already bought their seats. Watch them all go on one big flight. Wouldn't that be horrible? I think they honestly, for our benefit, they should space them out. Don't put them all on one. We can't lose them all at one time. That would really suck.
That's like putting your husband and the wife on a plane. Don't put them both on the same plane.
Put all your eggs in one basket. I mean, Jesus. Please don't put all those stars in one ship and then it goes down. That'd be so bad.
Well, we have so many young people that want to be actors and actresses. There's so many beautiful people in the world.
Somebody would fill their spot really easy.
Oh God, yeah.
How can you replace Leo?
How could you not?
Leonardo DiCaprio is a genius, my friend.
Come on. There's good actors, and then there's people that are just, you're still holding on to that Titanic role. You're still...
Titanic, he was awesome in other movies besides Titanic. I hated Titanic.
I'll never let you go, Rose.
I was told I was a horrible person because I didn't think it should have been Best Picture that year, that he didn't get Best Actor that year. What's wrong with you? You didn't like that movie? I remember that year, and I was like, what the fuck?
Was that coming from all your California friends?
No, it wasn't. But I was like, I can't have my own opinion and not fucking be in love with Leo. I didn't think Titanic was that good of a movie. It was neat because of the special effects and that stuff, but the acting and things like that, no, it's not so much.
I think that there are amazing actors. If Hugh Jackman were to die, I would be sad because I think, holy crap, Wolverine can't make a sequel.
Are you kidding me? I'm thinking there goes one serious goddamn actor.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, he's good at everything. I don't see Leonardo DiCaprio being able to hold the socks of Hugh Jackman.
Acting wise, I do, but I mean that's just. I think when you think of like Prisoners, Hugh Jackman in that movie was incredible.
Oh fuck!
If you think about,
if you guys haven't seen the movie Prisoners, that will
hardcore.
Flip your fucking lid.
Yeah, but if you see. Eat what you
Wolf on Wall Street.
Oh, that is pretty good. But if you see Wolf on Wall Street, it's incredible in that movie. You know what I mean? They're just, I mean, maybe he hasn't had the role to really show his chops, but I mean, he does. He has done some incredible movies.
I'm just saying when you.
Why am I defending him so hard?
I don't know.
Christ.
Jesus,
I do really like him a lot as an actor. Man crush. Sorry.
I think there are amazing actors and actresses, but I don't think that they're any. I don't think they're worth any more than you or I.
No, of course they're not.
You know what I'm saying?
But when it comes to my personal enjoyment of going to the movies, please don't put all those actors on one plane and have it go down. That's what I'm saying. It's from a purely selfish point of view. I enjoy movies. I enjoy actors. Don't put them all on one plane. I'm not taking that chance.
Hey, I just watched The Hobbit.
Is it good?
It's great.
I can't wait to see it.
And I didn't know a fucking single person on there except for the wizard. What's his? I don't even know. I don't know their real names.
Whoever plays Gandalf.
He's really familiar to me, but that was it. It was, to me, it looked like I didn't know anybody, and I thought, hey, I still enjoyed the fuck out of that movie, and I didn't know any of them.
And you saw the first one and then the second one, right?
Yeah.
Let's see, I remember watching the cartoon version of The Hobbit when I was a kid. And it was like 2.5 hours long. And it was a really good, it was like old fashioned kind of cartoons though. It wasn't a fancy cartoon.
Right.
But it was the whole book in one cartoon. It was like 2.5 hours long.
Didn't like a squid or something come out of a pond?
Ian McKellen, by the way, plays Gandalf. A squid come out of the pond? No, I just remember when Sting first started glowing when the spiders, they're near the org. Orcs.
Yeah.
And so I remember that as the cartoon going, oh my God, that sword's glowing. That's incredible. I was like 9 years old.
We're so fucking stupid.
Why? We love shit like that.
Back to science, though, and Neil deGrasse Tyson.
he's gonna be he's gonna ground us every time we'll be off on some fucking crazy arc somewhere. So back to Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Now let's go back. I think the thing is, he made another great statement saying that science and technology, that's what's getting us further in life, and a great place to delve into that. I think it's almost being co-opted now by fucking emotions and let's all feel happy, is TED Talks. I liked TED Talks a lot when they're like, here's the latest and greatest invention. Look what I've come up with. I don't like so much, what is the depth of a smile? What makes people happy? You know, I
maybe they're running out of stuff to talk about technology.
Hey, let's listen to music. Here's a TED Talk about music. Oh, come on. One of the TED Talks that I thought was really great is Donald Sadoway. And his TED Talk is the missing link to renewable energy. And he's the professor at a college who basically, he said to his students, I'm going to challenge you,
the battery guy,
to make a humongous liquid battery. He said the best way that he has learned to motivate people to find amazing innovations is to say, here's a challenge. This is what I want you to do. Here's a goal. It's way out there. Nobody's done it yet that we know of. You have all the resources at your disposal. Have at it. And from that type of motivation, that type of spurring of creativity, they've created a liquid metal battery. And you can go to the internet and Google Liquid Metal Battery Company, or LMBC, and that guy is the president of the company, and the student that primarily worked on this innovation is working in this company. So it's one of those things. He's actually looking toward creating I think it's called like a pizza. It's about the size of a pizza. It's pretty thick though, of liquid metal. And he's looking to stack those on top of each other and connect them all. And ideally he wants to create a battery the size of one of those shipping containers, those big metal shipping containers you see on cargo ships going across the seas. And then each one of those shipping containers is basically a battery, and then you stack shipping containers on top of shipping containers, and you have a whole yard full of shipping containers, and it's like a big circuit of batteries that could then hold the charge of the nuclear power plants or the wind turbines or the solar arrays that are out there. So it's a very amazing technology, because that is, again, the missing link between clean energy and what we're doing currently.
Well, and that goes right back to the space continuum, kind of us pushing the envelope when it comes to going outside our atmosphere, so to speak. You know, we're going to be the first people on the moon, and so that challenge right there is something that motivated people. I think that the exact same thing would happen in just about anywhere. You know, find a way. You know, I think Arizona did it. You know, how are we going to make sure all of our homeless vets are off the streets? What can we do? And so they put that challenge out there. Find an answer. How can we find an answer? So it's always challenging people. It's always, you know, making sure that we are reaching outside of ourselves. I don't know when it just seems like we've gotten slowly over time into the space of it's really all about me. And that's really difficult to handle as a person, because I'm definitely as selfish as anybody else. But you would think that we'd have to start thinking past the fact of, what about me and mine? And am I getting my due? And you have to be conscious of everybody else around you. I think Keoni said that, you know, why are we not just focusing on making sure we treat each other the best we possibly can and helping all of humanity? Shouldn't that be our goal? And I think that's part of what we're missing when we don't challenge ourselves and we're not trying to better ourselves. I do think that we miss some of those opportunities to be, you know, advancing ourselves as people.
I think the few things that really hold us back is the idea of nowadays, I'm waiting for somebody to help me do it. I'm waiting for the government to incentivize me to do it. If you have an idea, or if I have an idea, we should work our asses off to try and implement that idea if we think that that idea is truly the way to go. And I want to look up Donald Sadway on Facebook and see how far has he come. Along with that kid that said he could clean our oceans.
Oh
in
yeah.
5 years. And that kid's name would be Boyan Slat. Boyan, if you want to look it up. Boyan Slat. And it's really just super inspiring that this kid, one, had this idea, is so passionate about cleaning up the oceans, but two, he's following through with it. You know, he's going around the world, he's going out to sea, he's meeting with different people to discuss different ways to filter the small particles or particulates of plastic out in the oceans. He's meeting people. In fact, on his Facebook page, he recently posted that he just recently met Captain Charles Moore, and that's the guy who kind of discovered the Great Pacific Garbage Patch, and also he met Marcus Erickson, who is director of Five Gyres. So he's living that dream. You know, he had an idea, he's passionate about it. He went to the TED Talk. He got his message out to a bunch of people and his idea, his way of cleaning the ocean. And now he's following through with it. And that is the type of life I would hope that my kids have. They have a dream. They're passionate. They get their message out there and then they start living it. You know, they don't get trapped into this. I got to work 9 to 5. I got to go to college. If you're passionate about one subject, delve into it and get crazy. To me, that's a kid who said, here's a problem, and I'm just going to work on it. He's a kid. He's a teenager. When I was a teenager, all I wanted to do was make money and have sex. That was it. I was so selfish, so self-absorbed. That was it. I didn't think about how can I clean the fucking world's oceans.
Yeah. I mean, and I wonder if it's how you're raised, or I wonder if it's your perspective on the world, or, you know, you hear about people that, you know, see a movie about, I don't know, factory farming, and boom, they're vegetarians overnight. You know, it just changes them to see something kind of, you know, horrible and degrading kind of thing. So I wonder if that's similar in the sense that you have a kid who grows up and somebody says, oh my gosh, you know, it's 60 Minutes or something like that. And they talk about all this horrible stuff. And he goes, oh, if I could do it, I would do it this way. And somebody goes, oh, that's a good idea. And it just branches out and grows, you know, of its own accord. I wonder if it's just like a spark of inspiration for people, or if they're actively their whole lives, what's the next world problem I can solve? You know, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think finding that spark that you're really passionate about, that you're not just going to lose focus on in a month or 2 or 6.
Yeah.
So 1 is finding that spark. And 2, I think getting your voice out there to people who can help you achieve that goal, who also is passionate or who are passionate about that particular topic. Because when I can't say for sure, but I'm guessing that once he made that TED Talk, that kid, about cleaning the oceans, I'm sure his phone was ringing off the hook of people that had boats, of people that were in this industry, of people that had ideas about certain filters that they want to get in the water, about government grants. You know, I think you have to find your spark, and you have to get your voice out there to say, this is what I'm really passionate about. And that other people who are passionate about that say, hey, oh shit, I didn't know you were over there.
I wonder if Neil deGrasse Tyson's like that. I wonder if he impassions people and says, hey, I'm going to be at this planetarium in New York City. We need funding. Can you help us out here? We're going to do this, and this. I mean, you could see somebody get wrapped up in his passion going, oh yeah, I'll help. You know, what do you need from me to make sure it happens? Because somebody's so passionate about something that, as the way he puts it, is a fundamental part of us as human beings, making sure we're always searching outside of ourselves. I mean, he really feels that's a fundamental part of who we are as human beings, is always going out further than we ourselves. And that's what I like about him. I think I've said in the past about liking movies that have to do with people willing to change, or people being assholes and then they change their lives around, they become good people. There's a word I'm looking for, but I can't think of it. But I think that's part of it. You and I are just these two people in this room. But if we wanted to, we could choose to be a lot more. We could really fucking go balls out, do something different and extraordinary if we wanted to. Or maybe this is it. But I'm just saying that, if we wanted to, 10 years ago, we could have been like, hey, I want to be an astronaut. I'll see you later, man. I'm joining the Air Force. This is what I'm going to fucking do. I'm going to do this. But so I think that people that have that passion for stuff really, I don't know, they think they keep us all going, because I could very easily, after work going, okay, awesome. I'm going to go home. I'm going to start dinner. I'm going to get my kids in their homework. I'm going to plop my ass on the couch. I might read a little bit, but I might catch up on the Daily Show and Stephen Colbert. I'm looking for myself to just want some downtime. Just give me 15, 20 minutes of not much going on.
Again,
but
though,
that's not very passionate.
But again, though, if you were to compare that to that show, Alaskan Frontiersmen, those people have no downtime. Zero downtime. They're constantly thinking about, I have to prep for the winter. And when the winter's over with, and when the winter's there, I'm surviving the winter. And when the winter's over with, I'm prepping for the next winter.
Do you think it's because we don't have to do that? Is that part of it? Our lifestyle is not acclimated to that kind of living. There's no need for it.
In one respect, I think that they are living probably the most natural lives, the most ideal type of life that we all should live. They're not inundated. We make big problems out of things that aren't even problems.
Right.
Cell phone bills, and should I get this phone or that phone? Should I own this car or that car? I have all this educational debt. All this shit that we bombard ourselves with, that we've filled. It's just like a garbage can that we've just filled with shit. Whereas their garbage, their can, their box that they had, that they're thinking of, their mind isn't cluttered with anything other than what's happening right now. What do I need to do right now? So when I come home, these are the things I think about. I have so many things that I've lost it. It's like having a house full of toys. None of them mean anything.
And you don't know which one to choose to play with.
You don't know which one to play with. I mean, that's what I feel like our lives are like nowadays. We have so many options. How many games do you have on your phone?
0. Oh, I got my new phone. I devoted myself to not having any games.
Okay, how many games are on your old phone? How many apps were on your old phone?
Oh, how many apps? Oh, a lot.
Okay, a shit ton.
Yeah.
How often do you use every single app?
Right. Yeah, not very often.
We don't. How many games do we have at home? I have a shit ton of Xbox games for my kids. Do they play them all? Nope. But we have a ton. We have so many they've forgotten half of them.
Right.
And that's truly just one gaming system. So you think about books and dolls and all these other things that they could be doing with their time. They don't think about all that stuff. When I come home from work, I think, okay, I need to eat. I should see what's on TV. I want to do jujitsu with my kids. I would like to go and train jujitsu myself. Maybe I should work out. Maybe there's so many. I got to make my smoothies for the next day. There's so many things that I inundate myself with. It all gets lost. And somehow I'm picking myself up off the couch
at 9 o'clock.
At 9 o'clock at night, going, "Fuck! I didn't do anything that I thought about doing." I mean, it truly is. And how many Americans, how many people around the world feel that exact same way?
Well, I think that goes back again to what we were talking about before. It makes you feel like you have no purpose. You wasted an entire day. And I mean, we had a snow day on Monday, right? You know what I did? This is going to blow your mind.
I'm ready.
Sat on the couch the entire day and read and watched television.
Okay, that didn't blow my mind.
I'm being sarcastic. That's what I did the whole day. Now a part of me thinks I was productive because I'm so close to being done with this book. It's just
really?
killing me.
Where are you at in Aaron's book? You better be okay. Aaron's book.
I can't do it without doing a spoiler. Julian and Sky. So I'm at a really pinnacle moment. And what's funny is when I saw Aaron the other night, because we got together and watched Keoni fight, and he goes, "Hey, you want the e-copy for my book?" And I said, "No, I love hauling around this 4-inch fucking black binder with your goddamn book in it." And I was kidding. I was not kidding, because I actually like hauling it around. It makes me feel important.
There is something about the
But the other day I was like, oh, you know what? It'd be nice to just have my Kindle and be able to read this thing. But that's okay. I'm digressing. But
you said you'd be surprised what I did the other day.
And so I tried to convince myself that at least I read. That was something worthwhile. And I did read. But I also watched a bunch of horrible television. And I have to tell you, this is going to sound really weird. Duck Dynasty was on the other night, and I wasn't watching it.
Okay.
But now it's almost hard for me to watch it, because now I realize I knew it was a joke before, but I knew that the guys that they grew the beard, that they're really just elite, kind of wealthy guys who all went to, used to golf and were preppy and all that stuff. And they've taken on this persona. Right. And so I don't know if the curtain's been pulled back now so far that I just can't even buy into it anymore. Before I kind of could, because I know that their business is kind of that. And I know people who are very into the hunting culture and they really get wrapped up in it. And so I can kind of see where that is coming from. But then after this whole controversy, not just his beliefs and however, it doesn't fucking matter to me, but I do think that now that curtain's been pulled back enough that I know it's that big of a kind of a joke. And I'm kind of like, no, it's not even fun to watch anymore. No, I just don't enjoy it. And I don't enjoy it because I think he's a dick and I don't like his politics or his religious beliefs or his personal beliefs. It's just kind of like, it's just the joke and the fun of it for a while that I kind of enjoyed. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of blah for me.
That to me, it's ironic. Well, not really ironic. If you can sit back and say, when did all of these negative transgressions, all these negative ideas happen? After the guy made the statement or had that interview. Okay. You didn't hear anything. I didn't anyway. I didn't hear anything before that negative interview about them being fakers,
right?
Them growing out their beards, them being elitists, them being preppies, and playing golf and all this stuff. I looked at them as, this is who you are. I'm accepting you of who you are, because you're wearing the obviously
you're living it. Yeah.
So it makes me immediately skeptical of who's flooding your brain with this stuff, and where's it coming from, and why is it coming out now? To me, Phil Robertson made a statement on an interview, which wasn't even that bad, and everybody's blown it way out of fucking proportion.
Right.
And ever since then, it's been nothing but, let's try to ruin the show, And again, this show, take away the fact that they talk about religion a little bit in every show. Take away the fact that, they never say anything about race. They never say anything about homosexuality in the show when you're watching the show.
No.
That show, again, is the most wholesome show on fucking television. It is the most wholesome reality show on television. There's no backstabbing. There's no swearing. There is no talking shit about anybody. The daughters are respectful of their fathers. Yeah, that's horrible. Let's tear down that fucking show.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, and you said that in the timing certainly seemed off as well.
Oh, I totally think it's on purpose. I don't think that. How long has this show Duck Dynasty been on? I think a few years now.
Is it really?
So if it was a big fake from the beginning, don't get me wrong. I think every reality show has a bit of fakeness to it.
And who's to say that somebody doesn't change? It's like I said, I know people who are really involved in the hunting culture, and I know of people who have all of a sudden wanted to become in part of the rodeo. They wanted to start roping steers and riding bulls. So overnight, they're wearing cowboy pants and shit kickers and tight jeans and belt buckles, and so they don't not taking on a persona. They're living how all those people that do that live.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean.
Take me for instance. I dated that girl that wanted to go line dancing one time, and I went out and bought boots and a cowboy hat and all that shit. Dropped so much money, and then
I don't think I remember that.
And then we stopped seeing each other like a week later.
Was that? Were you and I roommates at the time?
Yeah, I was going to Kirkwood.
I don't remember that at all. That's funny.
Yeah. It was funny because I was so stupid. Oh wait, there's some good looking tail over there. Let me do whatever I need to do. But my point is, it's just, to me, I take it with a grain of salt. If I watch that show anymore, nothing is taken away from it. I didn't put too much into it to begin with. But again, if you want to stack that show, which is a show for entertainment, if you stack that show against any other show out there that is a reality show, that is the nicest, sweetest, most kind, thoughtful show out there. Every other show out there is about people being on their cell phones constantly, about materialism, about all this stupid stuff, and stabbing each other in the back and talking smack about one another.
And judging, a lot of judging.
A lot of judging and people making mountains out of molehills. The Kardashians. Okay, I just had to say it. Anyway, but again, I don't know why we're talking about. Let's move on. Science,
I have no idea why.
Science and technology. It drives everything that we do and say. If it wasn't for science and technology, we wouldn't have a podcast right now.
Yeah.
People wouldn't be able to listen to us around the world right now. It is an amazing thing if we can pull back greed, if we can remove greed to some extent from, let's advance the way we think about the world. Let's advance in what we use to make our lives better. Let's advance in the way of, let's make our bodies better. If you can advance in biology and you can use synthetic blood as an EMT responder because somebody's having a stroke, is it Michio Kaku?
Isn't that it?
I think I'm pretty sure he, on the Discovery Channel at one point, he did a show that was I'm sorry, let me back up a little bit here. It was called it was a 3-part episode, and it was called 2057. And the first part was the body episode, and then the second episode was the city, and then 2057 episode 3, I believe, is the world. So when he talked about the body in the first episode, he was talking about, one of the cool things was this synthetic blood. And this synthetic blood, the reason why synthetic blood is important or is such a neat thing is because if somebody were to have a stroke, basically what's happening is somewhere in their brain there is a blockage and or a bleed, and oxygenated blood is not getting to that part of the brain that needs it. And if it goes without oxygen for such a period of time, a certain part of the brain that's not getting oxygen will die. Well, the cool part about this synthetic blood, which is actually made up of fluorocarbons, is it is 100th to 1,000th the size of a red blood cell. So where these red blood cells are congested and blocked up, these fluorocarbons can get through that blockage and still deliver oxygen. And the cool thing about this is not only the size, but the fact that they're so much smaller and they can carry up to 3 times as much oxygen as a normal red blood cell. That in itself is an amazing medical breakthrough that I would hope we would start to see in our normal daily lives. And it is in it is out in laboratories right now. They, like I said, you can pull it up on YouTube, and I'll put the links on our website, but it's 2057, 3-part series, the body, the city, the world. So I hope you watch that and enjoy it, because Michio Kaku is he's a bad motherfucker, and he's really entertaining. He's like Neil deGrasse Tyson, where he takes subjects and makes them really sexy, scientific, crazy things, and he brings it back down to our level and says, okay, you think that's cool? This is how we would practically build that. So it's really, really, it's really amazing. So these types of things, I'm like, yeah, let's fucking full steam ahead. Let's do this shit. Do we need to necessarily focus and have development in like deadly diseases? Do we really need scientists to do deadly diseases? Again, this is coming from me, coming from an ignorant point of view, like what Neil Degrasse Tyson said. You're asking, why are we studying dark energy and dark matter right now? I don't know. I'm saying it's out there. We should understand it a little bit better. 100 years from now, we could say, this is why I thank God somebody started asking these questions 100 years ago.
Right.
Because this is where we're at because of it today. But right now, I have no idea. Again, me wondering about people dealing with deadly diseases and things like that, and how deadly cultures. It's like, I'm wondering as a stupid person, why the fuck are we dealing with that shit? It's scientific and it's crazy. And I have no understanding of it. But maybe 50 years from now, somebody will be like, hey, we found the total cure for this or that.
Right.
Because we were fucking around with deadly diseases that nobody wanted us to touch.
Right.
You never know how great of an idea something was until you can look, hindsight, you can look back on something and go, that was hugely successful.
Right.
Or that was a colossal failure.
I heard that they have, some of those like disease control places where they are working on superflus and things like that, or they have storage of some of these things. I heard they're storing or they're moving these places to like Antarctica, because if it ever gets outside, it's fucking done. It's dead. Whereas like in the stand,
you shitting me?
No, like in the stand, one guy sneezes and then he got through the gate before the gate closed, and then that started everything, right? Just one guy who had it and sneezed and caught, and everybody else got sick. So this way, if it gets outside, it's dead because it's always negative whatever degrees all the time there. Now, that's not to say somebody couldn't take it out on their person, maybe, you know what I mean? But it's the idea that if it just were to get out, it'd be more difficult for somebody to get out with it. And it in of itself would be hard to be stolen, because if it hits air, it's going to be a goner because it's just so goddamn cool.
It's Michio Kaku. Michio Kaku. M-I-C-H-I-O.
It still sounds funny. Sorry.
K-A-K-U. So Google him, or I'll put a link on the website for this. But he really theorizes a lot of really cool shit. I mean, the special, I think it was like a 3-part special. One had to do with energy. Where are we going to be at 2050 for energy? The next segment was where are we going to be at with medicine and biology. I forget what the third one was at, but it was just really neat to think, yeah, if we don't have people going in and wanting to be scientists, if everybody wants to be a drama major,
right,
we're fucked.
Right.
We're screwed if everybody wants to be Leonardo DiCaprio. We need to have engineers and we need to have people creating things. The United States cannot remain a country, because we're turning into a country of it's the service industry.
Right.
You can have all the degrees you want, but if the job isn't here, you're going to be flipping burgers, my friend.
Yeah, exactly.
And there are examples of people with large degrees working at fast food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so that's
why when people talk about people making a better wage when it comes to fast food, and everybody just keeps talking about teenagers and they shouldn't be making that much money, and it's a startup job, and it's all these things without taking into account or thinking about or choosing to ignore the fact that that is just no longer true. There are adults with degrees from college whose now main income is working 40 hours a week at McDonald's and then somewhere else as well. And on top of that, on food stamps, because they just can't pull in enough. And I think it's really...
But the problem is the shift of the paradigm shift that I think you need to have, possibly, maybe I need to have it, is that job is still an entry-level, super simple job. I would not raise... If I was paying somebody to mow my lawn, the lawn has stayed the same. Cutting the lawn, basically, has stayed the same. I don't care how many fucking degrees you have.
Doing that job.
I'm not paying you $50 an hour to cut my lawn if I can pay the 13-year-old kid down the street $5 to mow my lawn.
Right. Yeah. that
And
makes sense.
for somebody to tell me that I have to employ you and I have to pay you $50 an hour to mow my lawn is ludicrous. The problem is not the fact that we have so low wages in the United States, or minimum wages that it's so low, or that McDonald's pays their employees so little, or that Walmart pays their employees so little. That's not the problem. The problem is we've outsourced any type of real jobs
Right.
that should be paying well, and we've outsourced them out of the United States. And we don't have there's plenty of people with plenty of money out there. Those 1%ers, those people that have a shit ton of money, at any time, they could find somebody. They could go to a TED Talk and find somebody and go, oh my God, you want to make humongous batteries so that we could have wind and solar energy powering these batteries, and we could power an entire city on battery power, and we could get away from coal plants. I'm gonna pay for that factory to be built. We are gonna create those batteries. We have plenty of those people. We have plenty of money. All they got to do is say, in Iowa, we're gonna have that factory.
I wonder what keeps people from doing that. What do you think could be what's the trigger?
Well,
I mean, is it? I mean, it can't just be pure selfishness. I mean, people do nice things all the time, and you would think. I mean, you and I both. You're thinking of yourself. If you all of a sudden came into a windfall and you had enough money to help somebody start a startup like that, you would do it. Not only because it would probably benefit you at some point, financially.
Oh, it would absolutely benefit.
But it would change the way we do things. You know what I mean? It would fundamentally change. I mean, if it became big enough, it would be a different, instead of having somebody having a solar panel on the roof of their garage charging a bunch of car batteries, they would now have a more available way to store a lot of energy that's getting in there all the time and being stored to use in their house.
Yeah,
So,
I think one question that we need to ask ourselves, and we need to be adult enough to give it an honest answer, and adult enough to truly open our ears for the answer, is there's too many fucking people in the world. I mean, there really is. There's too many people in the world. So we need to make a decision. Are we going to allow people to die because they eat shitty, and we've allowed our corporations to basically do to us what they're doing to cattle, which is, silage, that's just really super cheap to feed our cattle. It's a lot cheaper than having tons of land to let all these cattle graze. It's so much less work to just have all these cattle eating silage all the time, which is shit that they primarily would not eat. And silage, is it horses or is it cows? They will not eat certain things. So what do? We blend it. We blend that shit up so small that the animals cannot physically separate that shit that they wouldn't normally eat out of what the rest of the shit that they eat. They're doing the same thing. When I say they, I'm talking about basically there's only like 4 or 5 major companies that control almost all of the food that is processed and is in our grocery stores. And almost all of it is like silage. We are being fed the cheapest way. Nobody's looking at us going, nobody in those 4 or 5 companies are looking at the human race going, you know what? I don't care how much it costs. We need to have the most nutritious food available to these people. They're not saying that. They're saying, how can I get some more fucking silage? How can I make this silage cheaper to feed people? How can I make it cheaper to make ding dongs? Well, how can I make it cheaper to get KFC chickens out there?
It goes back to the whole idea of being selfish. It's how much money you can make. How much can I make my stockholders? How can I keep my job? How can I get my golden parachute? And that's what it goes back to. I mean, nobody wants to feed anybody silage unless there's profit somewhere in it. I mean, that's the hard part that you fall back on. And so then, and this is what I do, is I sit back and go, okay, so at some point, if my wife and I were to say, okay, we've got to cut everything back. We're not getting anywhere. We got to trim down, trim all the fat off everything. We're done. We can't fit it. We can't do it anymore. We're not going to survive. We'll lose our house or something like that.
Right.
We would not be buying organic milk anymore, which we do. we'd buy organic milk. Because they say it's one of the number one things you can do for your kids is to buy organic milk because it has there's no pesticides and hormones in it.
Wait a second. You mean having a 9-year-old girl menstruating isn't awesome from your
right
non-organic milk?
And any other milk besides organic milk is going to cause that problem. And so we might have to stop buying organic milk because you get half the amount for more, and it costs you more than a gallon of milk does. So I mean, we'll have to start making choices for ourselves, and cut back the fat. But I guess that's kind of survival mode, And so I don't know if corporations who are not necessarily, maybe they're always in a survival kind of mode, but it's more of a survival mode of, are we going to continue to grow? Are people going to continue to invest in us? And there's a lot of jobs and things involved in that. And so I think it's almost they say I don't believe corporations are human beings, but there is a part of a corporation that is humanistic in the sense of it's always trying to grow. It's always trying to change. It's always trying to make more money. You and I try our best not to accumulate too much stuff.
You just described a corporation as a virus, not as a human being.
You don't think that we try to accumulate things?
I totally think that we mimic a virus as much as anything. We move on and we consume something and we destroy the environment, and then we move on to the next thing, we consume it and we destroy that environment and we keep moving on.
Isn't that what, that's what corporations kind of do. And that's their
I'm just saying, right? Corporations are more like a virus than
human beings are.
I think you paint too nice of a picture when you say corporations are like human beings.
Oh,
thoughtful and caring.
Well, obviously they're not thoughtful and caring. I just mean that they're always looking for something else. They're always trying to satisfy something else. It's made up of people of itself. A corporation wouldn't be anything without the people that make it up. But those people are looking to keep their jobs or move up in their jobs or make more money in their jobs and buy more things. And I think that it's just difficult for corporations to not be in the mode of always trying to do better all the time because of profit and greed. It goes back to what you said before. But how do you change that culture? That's capitalism.
That's capital, and that's what you and I have kind of waged war with Rocky about. Not really waged war, but that's what our differences are. We talked about this. Was it before the podcast about paradigm shifts? And it's hard for me to see Rocky's point of view about economics. If you're talking solely about economics, if you're talking solely about the power of the dollar and what's right and what's the best thing for economics, people talk about economics as if it's their fucking child, as if it's their baby. And we have to do everything we can to provide the healthiest surroundings for that child.
Well, to make sure our country functions right, because it works off of that, you'd almost have to.
But they do that. A lot of people do that, and they totally leave out a certain part of the equation, which is humanity. They don't give a fuck about you or me as long as there's profit and the profit is going to the right place and we're making profitable economic choices. The guy was talking on Joe Rogan's podcast about fracking. And Joe Rogan's like, there's a certain price that you cannot possibly pay if you frack somewhere and you've ruined the land and people's water is tainted for I don't know how long because there's chemicals in it now from your fracking process, and their natural water is flammable now, and their cows are sick and people can't live on that land. Economics cannot swoop in like a superhero and fix what you have fucked. It's fucked, and nobody can come back and fix it, even though it's an economic windfall for people to invest in fracking.
In jobs and
because fracking is makes a lot of money, and you can employ people to do fracking. So yeah, there's more jobs. And it's great for the economy, but it's fucking destroying land and resources and animals and people's livelihoods. Can you imagine living on a farm, a family farm, or having a family farm for over 100 years, and all of a sudden somebody's fracking in an area north of you, and somehow now your land is completely toxic? You can't stay there. Even if you want to stay there, you can't stay there because your kids are now sick and all your cattle is fucking dead. I mean, you can't fix that with, oh, okay, there's $1 million. Well, you still didn't fix the land, dude. You paid me money. Maybe I can move. Or we're still caught up in the law, in the lawyer trial. I can't move. I don't have any money to move. I'm just going to keep getting sick. And I'll probably die of sickness before you pay for how much you fucked up my land.
Well, and I think that went to the whole idea of that same Joe Rogan's podcast where he's saying, yes, maybe there shouldn't be any controls over who becomes a hairdresser, and they give enough horrible fucking haircuts and
nobody will go.
Nobody will go. But when you decide, if you have the capital to go in and you start fracking because of the opportunity that's there, and it's not just a bad haircut now. You ruined a water supply. And I don't even think, say it's 100 people that use that well and you ruined that well. What gives you the right, because you have the ability to go in and do that you get to ruin a natural resource? To me, it's like a crime against humanity.
Yeah, and that's what it
feels like.
I thought it was actually kind of telling. It was very telling to me how moral that person was. Now, Rocky is probably going to listen to this and go, "Oh my God, you're just ripping on this guy who I think is the best person ever."
Well, he thinks he's a great economist. That's what Rocky says.
And he's probably the best economist. But what I'm saying is, it's kind of like saying that's the best lawyer. And people don't have a very great taste in their mouths for lawyers that get drug dealers and murderers and people and find loopholes, and they get them out of jail and out of punishment. Anyway, what was I saying?
He said he thought it was telling.
Oh, it was very telling when he described fracking as, well, it's like a haircut. If he gives a bad haircut, then people won't go back. But your hair fucking grows back. You know it's a bad haircut, and the fact that it's a haircut and somebody fucked it up and buzzed your head maybe, and you're like, fuck, that's going to take at least 2 months to grow back. But you know what?
It'll grow back.
It'll grow back. It's not like you went to a barber and they dumped fucking acid on your head.
Right.
And you're scarred for fucking life. That would be a better example if you want to compare apples to apples.
I think that's tough too, because if you also have one individual who has a tremendous amount of money, which inherently comes with a tremendous amount of power, it's not quite equal. There's not as many choices involved for people who don't have that kind of power and that money. So, I mean, if somebody said, "Hey, wait a second, can we just slow this down a little bit, and let's make sure that, not only you're using fresh water to pump into those pumps along with the chemicals, so you're using drinking water to do this. Is there a chance that it could poison anything? Do you know? I mean, how many studies were out there that said this could cause problems? Because there are people in Oklahoma now who are protesting fracking there because it's causing earthquakes. It's fracturing the crust of the earth.
How do you know scientifically that it's causing earthquakes?
Let's see. I read 4 or 5 articles of seismologists.
It's probably all Democratic bleeding hearts.
It very well could be, but I just know that there are people. There's something should give us pause when it comes to us affecting more than just of ourselves. Again, the whole haircut analogy just didn't work for me because it's just so catastrophic. And there's, like you said, there's no going back. There's no going back. And so that's the hard part, is that, I think that's why people still have a problem with oil and gasoline and using combustion engines in the car, because we know how bad it is. But there really is no other alternative. And if we could, maybe we can get a Nissan Leaf. They have those electric cars.
Yeah.
So maybe you can go that direction at some point in your life. But really, up until that point, up until now, I can't really afford a car like that. I needed to go down and buy a $2,000 car from the used car dealership so I can get to work every day. So, we can make changes when we have the opportunities to, but some of those opportunities are just far and few between, because we don't have another option besides buying combustion engines at this point.
I think probably farmers feel the same way we feel. Like you and I, we would like to say to ourselves, okay, how could we live the best way we could live? What could we do that would make a change? Clearly we're unhappy with our society and what the government's doing and what the effect on our world is. But you and I continue to carry on our days, day-to-day life, the exact same way. I mean, besides this podcast and trying to get the message out there of this is what the normal middle-income people in Iowa are kind of thinking.
Right. Or starting discussions.
Yeah, and starting discussion. I mean, what could we do? I mean, I think that we feel so helpless because there's not somebody that comes right out and says, hey, if you're in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and you want to do this, let me show you how. We don't have that teacher that's willing to educate us truly on how to do something and for the betterment of humanity, for the betterment of our surroundings and for our environment. And notice how I did not say for what's better for economics. I could give a fuck less about economics. I think we are so focused on economics, and the Federal Reserve is so focused on printing out money and creating this illusion that we're all okay. And we need to start making decisions on R&D and changing completely how we run the United States. And to go back to Neil Degrasse Tyson, we have to do that with science and technology and education. We're falling so far behind in education. Our kids are hope for our future, right? That type of, what's that saying?
I believe the children are our future. That one.
You know what? When was the last time a bunch of singers came together and sang about our children?
Oh, that song right there isn't that Whitney Houston? Let them lead the way. Isn't that her? That's her song, isn't it?
Show them all the beauty they possess inside.
I
Give
think that's
them a sense
of
pride.
sexual chocolate.
Sexual chocolate. Man, we meshed together a lot of different things.
That needed to happen. We're going down a dark hole again.
It's so easy to go down a dark hole. It's hard to stay positive.
It's hard not to spin out. Yeah.
But there's so many cool, if you're listening to the podcast and you're like, hey, you know what? You haven't talked about this. Matt, Todd, do you guys know about this? No, we don't know about that. Fucking email us. Hey, people out there, did you know that there's an elephant with a prosthetic leg? No. Well, there is an elephant with a prosthetic leg. Who would have fucking thought?
Yeah.
And she's on her third prosthetic leg because they keep wearing out because she's a big, huge fucking elephant, as you can imagine.
Yeah. But that's something that an animal that probably would have been put down. Because what are you going to do with an elephant? It's got 3 legs. Can't fucking do anything. You got to keep feeding it. Its life is probably not that great. So why not give it a prosthetic leg?
Again, are we going to be honest with ourselves? Or are we going to pick and choose when we're going to be kind of cool? Hey, he's a cool, nice person because today he just decided to save the life of an elephant and put all this R&D into a prosthetic for that one elephant's leg. Just think for a second. How many other animals could we save, preserve, put money into, keeping hunters out of their areas or whatever? Fuck it. I don't know. Whatever. But no, we've decided that this one elephant's going to be our champion.
Well, it's one guy. If one guy picks an elephant and one other guy picks dogs and one other guy, if they're going to have people out there that are doing positive things with the idea, my thought would be that if he can do a prosthetic for an elephant, do a prosthetic for just about anything. You know what I mean? I saw something the other day that had a dog that had both of his front legs were gone.
Front legs were fucked?
Both front legs were gone. And somebody had fitted him with a harness that fit around his chest, and he had 2 wheels. Like just had 2, how they some of those racing wheelchairs have the wheels and the angles on them.
Primarily, you'll see that on like the back legs.
Yeah, this was on the front. He's on his front legs, and it looked like it was kind of like bouncy, so that if he put pressure on his chest, he could actually, the wheels would kind of bow in, and he could like put his head down and get a drink of water. But when he was up, it flexed, and he was up on his wheels. He didn't go in and out of the doggy door, and it was crazy. But it was neat.
Yeah, you know what? You're saying that. You're like, whoa, it's so kind of cool. It's a fucking dog.
Well, it's just a fucking elephant.
You also paid for a hip replacement for a dog.
No, I didn't do that. My wife did. Okay. Long before I knew her. And it wasn't a hip, it was a knee.
Oh.
And it was still $2,000.
Pardon moi.
I know. I have a hard time with that too. But
at some point, we're just like, we fight so hard against death. I've said it before. I'll say it again. If there was a magic pill, if there was something that somebody offered me and said, "Hey Matt, you can live to be 75 years old, perfect health. You'll feel great. You're nice and strong. You're not going to get fat and lazy. No cancer. No nothing. You can see like a hawk. You're going to be great. You're going to have fucking 75 perfect years. But on year 75, you're dropping dead." I'd take it in a heartbeat because we all die. I just want to have a comfortable quality of life while I'm living. I don't want to live to 150 years old, but I just want to have a comfortable, pain-free life while I'm living. And I think that's what everybody wants. They just want to have a place, a safe place to go at the end of the day, be with their kids, work at a decent job.
But we fear death, you know. I mean, I think that's one thing that Americans have a really difficult time with. We really fear what's happening after this place, you know, which is kind of odd. We fear it
so much that we had to pay for hip and knee replacements for dogs.
No, I mean the idea of living a certain amount and 75.
No, I mean normally we'd put the dog down. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But we fear it so much. We don't want to lose you because of technology.
No, maybe we don't
have the technology.
Maybe we don't want to lose.
Rebuild him.
Maybe now some people, my wife included, thinks of our dogs as another child in our house.
Don't you have enough kids?
Yeah, we have plenty of kids at this point. But I mean, that's how she thinks of them. So it's not, to her, it's not just a dog. It's a member of our family. You know, and that's different for me because I love our dogs, but I don't. It's not when they die, I'll be like, oh God, this is horrible. This sucks. I'm gonna miss them. But I'm not, you know, in the dumps about a dog passing away. But that's just me. I mean, and if that means I'm heartless and I sound like a dick, I guess so. But I love our dogs. I just don't have so much invested into them when I know they're going to be around 15, 16 years and then they're going to be gone. So I'll appreciate them while they're here. And then when they're gone, they're gone.
You know, it's going to be funny. Someday we're going to take our dogs, or you'll be taking your dogs. I don't have fucking dogs. I have no animals. I have no animals at my house, and it's very wonderful.
It's clean. It's hair-free.
Hair-free. Yeah. There's no... There's some shit in my mouth. Someday, we're going to be doing stem cell injections into fucking dogs. Because right now, that's happening. I mean, that's like new age, late-breaking type of technology that we're doing with NFL athletes. They're getting stem cell injections into their necks or shoulders or whatever the fuck. Was it Peyton Manning?
Yeah, in his neck.
And he had a stellar year.
Stellar year. If he wins the Super Bowl, he'll have a career like no one has ever had before as a quarterback.
Okay.
It's pretty amazing.
So the fact that you need to have a scientific brain to come up with the strategy and the technology to pull out bone marrow, do whatever you're going to do to it, to take it back to an unprogrammed stem cell so that when you inject it into wherever, it starts to become the stem cells of its surroundings.
Right.
Is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
And somebody that's flipping burgers at McDonald's is not going to understand that technology. And somebody who goes to college on a 4-year degree in custodial arts, I'm just kidding, in drama, is not going to understand that shit. So if we want to have like a better human race, if we want to have better bodies, if we want to have pain-free shit here, or let's decrease the amount of male pattern baldness over here,
everybody in the room, raise your hands.
Everybody in the room, yeah. Then we need to have kids. We need to have kids going into those fields. And I was talking to a good friend of mine the other night on our way home from my normal job, and it had hit me that parents are completely to blame. Well, almost completely to blame. I think parents probably should take 95% of the blame for what their kids love to do. Kids, when they grow up, they're so influenced by us. You know, if you're a mom and a dad that are you're so focused on sports and that's all you want your kids to do, your kids are going to grow up thinking the way to my parents' heart is through excelling in sports. And so you're going to go to college on sports for sports. I mean, it's going to be that type of orientation.
Right.
You know, but if your parents are promoting that science is cool and that technology is amazing. And look at the look of my dad's face. You know, if you're a little kid, look at that look at my dad's face or my mom's face. Look how entertained they are. Look how awe-inspired they have become at the planetarium, you know, at this show. But if you don't influence your kids with that, they're never going to know it. They're never going to see it. If you don't ever show them a book that has science, technology, engineering, they're never going to think that's cool. If all we do is completely inundate our kids with NFL football, video games,
your kids,
like my kids, then that's all they're going to grow up and be like, I want to develop video games. I want to play in the NFL.
Right. What's that percentage? It's such a small percentage.
Oh, that's true. But the athletic departments at universities are always growing.
Well, we're all searching for a better way to approach the world, don't you think?
I don't know. I think it's so hard to focus. I don't think that there is a chemical imbalance with people with ADHD and all that. I think there's so much. It's like having a house full of toys. You know, we have a world full of distractions. And Keoni and a lot of other people think that the internet is the most amazing thing out there, that it's brought such truth to us. And it has. But it has also created the environment like a kid having every toy possible in his house.
So there's always, because I mean, the internet really is
so hard to focus,
and a constant distraction.
Right.
There's always something to look at, something to read, something to look into, something to click and like, something to follow. I mean, that's just kind of.
My wife can be on Facebook for hours.
I can't do that. I've been on Facebook before, and I've scrolled through and then caught up on some little things here and there, and I've been liking more things that have to do with, like, whether it's Cosmos with Mr. Tyson, or whether it's, you know, I love Best Made products. There's some really awesome handmade, American-made products that are out there. They always are showing new shit.
Is that the one with the axe?
Yeah, fucking badass.
Man, you were so into the axe.
I love it.
Thing.
Oh, it's not the axe. It's just the stuff that they carry is really high quality, made in America stuff. I like it. And if it's not made in America, they put it point blank. You know, these knives are handmade in Japan. They're the best knives we can find. That's why we import them. So I mean, they're pretty upfront about it.
So what's the website?
Best Made.
Just Best Made.
Just bestmade.com. Mm-hmm. Yep. Very cool.
Also,
Junior thought his knife that we got from him from there, he thought it was the coolest gift he's ever gotten. He thought it was like the greatest thing ever. And I was like, well, I just got it for you because you graduated from boot camp. It doesn't have to be that big of a deal. He's like, no, this is really, really a neat gift. So it was cool.
I think another way you can get to that website is type in the most expensive shit I can find on the internet.com.
Well, and when you think about needing an axe, to buy one of their axes, you would really need to use it. I mean, you're not going to spend $150 on an axe and not fucking use it. You know what I mean? I mean, this stuff that they have on there really is used or made to be used. It's not there to be pretty. I guess you could buy a $100 axe you can hang on your wall and say, look how cool I am. But to me, the stuff from that store is pretty fucking nice.
Right
and you
next
want
to my
use
$700 samurai sword.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'll use them both about the same amount.
You're right. That's what I'm saying. You really would only want to use it if you had a need.
Did you see?
You know? That's why I thought it was a cool little pocket knife.
Have you ever seen the YouTube video of the kid who's his best friend is videotaping him, and he's got two swords, one in each hand, and he goes, "Hi-ya!" and he flips the sword so that the scabbards go flying, and he goes, he whips the swords around all around him, and then all of a sudden he goes, "Oh!" and he drops the swords, both of them, and he looks at his forearms, and he just sliced the fuck out of himself.
Oh,
God. That's why you don't play with swords.
Yeah, let's not play with knives.
You want to play with swords? Make it be the wooden one.
And when it comes to YouTube things from back in the day that I thought were funny was the Star Wars kid. Do you remember the Star Wars kid?
I love the Star Wars kid.
The best part about the Star Wars kid is watching the original version, because the look on his face is so serious. You can think of the Comic-Con kind of people. You know, he was really, really serious.
Jesus, the Comic-Con type of people.
Yeah, because he was like he wanted to show his skills as this double lightsabered Jedi, and he tripped and he fell and he was still fucking poisoned up, like looking at the screen like I didn't meant to do that, kind of shit. And so that was so funny. And then you see those remakes where people put backdrops in and then shot lasers. I mean, and he was blocking them. It was the greatest thing ever. That's what got me on YouTube. I was like, this thing's gonna fucking be incredible because you can do you can put anything you want on there, and if it's entertaining, people are gonna watch it. And now to see that YouTube is like people have their own channels. You can subscribe to people
like us.
But I mean, we don't have cool funky videos to watch.
Maybe someday we will.
Yeah.
Maybe someday.
But I mean, I just think it's funny that you can get that. I mean, and obviously you can see really inappropriate things on there too. But I just think it's funny that it almost allows everybody the opportunity to be on Funniest Home Videos.
Oh, that's true.
We always used to watch it and laugh and say, "Oh my God, who gets how they?" You can just imagine back in the day them getting these millions of VHS tapes, and people had to fast forward and rewind and fast forward and rewind. Like Jesus! Now you just go on YouTube and you type in, cat playing piano. And there it is. So,
hey, who's coming up on the podcast?
We will have Leah Dunham from America's Two-Headed Pig. We're also going to have Nick Rosine back on here for CrossFit 2.2. He's going to be back on to promote the opening of his new gym. They are moving. Moving from right off of Blair's Ferry Road and Center Point Road.
Are they expanding or they're moving? So you're still going to have the gym off Blair's Ferry Road? No, that we are moving. We're moving to a new building. Yep, and it's about 6,500 square feet. So we're probably... Jesus, I don't know.
Over quadrupling what we have now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really big. It used to be like a semi repair shop. So it's got three huge high doors on the side. They have a sitting area, so you can sit and hang out kind of stuff. They have bathrooms and showers for everybody. So he wants to be back on to promote that. The CrossFit Open Games are going to start really soon. If you're not a CrossFitter, what that is that they do certain workouts of the day. And if you truly want to be, which is one of the unique parts of CrossFit, want to be part of the CrossFit Games, I don't want to be part of the CrossFit Games, but I'll be doing all of the workouts that all of the professional athletes do to get into the games. So Rich Froning, one of the best known CrossFitters out there, or Jason Kalipa, they'll be doing the same workout I am, but they'll be doing it 1,000 times better. But I do get to do, I mean, that's one of the cool parts is I will be doing the same thing. They will, so everybody else at my gym will be doing the same thing. And kind of seeing how you compare. I mean, it's kind of cool where I can't go out and play catch with, a professional football player, and compare myself to them, or a baseball player or basketball player. This way, I mean, within reason, I can go do a workout and say, oh, I did this in 15 minutes and they did it in 4. But again, that's what they do. All they do is fucking train, which is good for them. But
you have Leah Dunham, you have Nick Rosine, and then we're supposed to have Chuck Kavanaugh back on as well from Prescott Leathers. That'd be awesome to see him and chat with him. So that'll be coming up. We'll definitely have Rocky back on here soon. We're going to get him back on here ASAP. I'd love to have Keoni Koch back on after his fight last week. Matt and I have had lots of discussions about watching Keoni fight. So we're virgin. That was the first fight that I watched that I knew the guy fighting. And it was terrible.
It was truly horrible, and it was incredible. Again, it was such a juxtapitation of emotions for me because I was so impressed watching him fight because I've never seen him fight before. It went 5-minute rounds, which is just fucking insane to me. He was fighting somebody 10 years younger than he is, and I was just in awe of the skill that I was watching him do at the same time. And, we're not BFFs with Keoni. We know him and we're becoming friends with him. But just knowing somebody who's being put in a triangle choke or seeing somebody who's fighting off of his back for 3 minutes trying not to get choked out. I mean, just the defense and the way he kept this kid off of him, I was just flabbergasted, but I was sick to my stomach the entire fucking time, and I was so glad when it was over.
We're so nervous. We wanted we were wishing the best for him. I really wanted him to win because I feel he deserves to to have great things in his life.
I agree.
And
Totally.
for him to train as hard as he did, for him to go up against a Gracie student who basically trains with the Gracies. I mean, they're the fathers. Basically, that family is the father of mixed martial arts, and for him not to be submitted, for him to be put in some serious submission holds, and to stay calm, use his head, be that well conditioned, to be that strong-willed of a person, to not tap. So impressed. I tell you what, watching that fight made me want him to train me. I was so much more inspired for having him train me in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, if you want to be an athlete and you want somebody to train you, why would you not have him train you? I mean, to not be in those submissions, to get out of that stuff, to do 5 rounds. He broke his nose in the first minute of the fight. He fought that whole fight with the broken nose. The battle would have inspired me that he put on. You know, that would convince me to want to have him train me.
Yeah, and if you don't know your shit, you're gonna get choked the fuck out. So whatever Keoni did when he was in a triangle, when he got caught in that triangle choke, for him to position his body in such a way that he did not physically pass out, to me, it's like two chess masters going at it, and Keoni was keeping him at bay when he was in some serious trouble. And, you know, watching that fight a few times now, not only was it super close, but I do think that Keoni was robbed on that fight. I'm not going to go any further into it. But
Rock has plenty of things to say about that.
Yeah, Rocky does. So we have those people on. We're hoping to have the founder of Sauce Hockey on at some point in time. So stay tuned to the Primal Scream. We have a lot of different things coming up. And I sent out some communique today to Penguins Comedy Club. I'm really hoping that they take us up on our offer and that we start having professional comedians coming in on our podcast.
That'd be awesome.
To make you guys laugh your fucking asses off. Just to have some crazy talks.
Something different and local. It's good to support a local business and give them an opportunity to get their names out there and push it more. Because Penguins is kind of the place to go before the flood of 2008. It was a pretty good comedy club downtown Cedar Rapids, and now they've had to kind of shuffled around or kind of out of their space, but it'd be good to get them promoted again. So
yeah, I love going there. It's a great atmosphere still. And so I'm really looking forward to hearing back from you, Penguins Comedy Club, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So that's it for us tonight. I'm going to go have some special me time with my wife, I think. I might have to do that.
Yep. Got to put the kids to bed.
They got school tomorrow, which hasn't been the norm lately here in Iowa with our 55 degrees below zero wind chill. Damn, that's horrible. It's
been horrible.
We're having a heat wave right now. It's like in the 20s.
Yep, it was 30 degrees, and I pulled into my driveway, and I thought, "Holy cow, it's balmy."
Yeah, I'm gonna take my coat off. I'm gonna run around shorts and
get some shorts and my flip flops out. Yeah, you're not kidding.
Well, hey, thanks for joining us tonight on the Primal Scream. Again, Bill Moyer, Neil Degrasse Tyson. Such a wonderful interview. Neil Degrasse Tyson with Cosmo. His new show coming out.
Cosmos. The
Cosmos.
I might have a Cosmo later, but he's going to be talking about the Cosmos.
Because you're kind of a metrosexual.
Fine.
Your Cosmos.
But yeah, if you go to Moyers and Company on pbs.org, you can watch. They broke up into 3 little 25-minute episodes, and they're really
on YouTube also.
Oh, it's on YouTube.
Yeah, that's where I watched it. It's on YouTube.
So I mean, it's really worth it because if you want to watch somebody who's excited about what he does and with his life, and helping bring people into the fold of science and progressing forward, he's a pretty big advocate of it.
Yeah, so that, and try to stay positive. Look at what you can do. If you're passionate about something, or if you have an idea about something, or if you like to tinker in a certain way, there's all these shops and hobby kits out there that you can get a hold of and social network with people and get together into little groups. There was a 19-year-old boy named Taylor Wilson. I'm sorry. At the time, I digress. At the time, Taylor was only 14 years old, and he created a nuclear reactor. Does it? Okay, maybe that doesn't surprise everybody, but he created it in his fucking dad's shed. It was in his dad's shed. That's amazing. Okay, and if you go to the TED Talks, TED.com, if you just go to TED.com and you type in Taylor Wilson, or you could go to YouTube and type in Taylor Wilson TED Talks. There's more videos that he's come out with. He has amazing inventions. He's 19. The latest video was he's 19 years old, and now he has figured out a way to create these nuclear fusion reactors that are super small. And he gives a presentation on how you can bury it. It's super safe. You don't have to worry about anybody getting in there or terrorism or any of that stuff. And here's a super important thing. Super important thing that I want everybody to understand when you hear about Taylor Wilson. His idea of a nuclear reactor, this machine, this energy source, it can take, I mean, when you think of nuclear, what's the biggest negative besides the toxic Avengers? It's toxic waste, because our current system can't possibly use all the radiation. It degrades to a certain point that then they can't use it. So then they have to ship it out and put in new fuel rods. And Taylor Wilson talks about this in his TED Talk, but his new machine, you can actually take the nuclear waste that is just sitting at secure locations, and you can use that. You can use that nuclear waste, and you can almost completely use up all of the radiation. You can almost completely do that. Isn't that amazing? All of the arguments, all of the scandals, all of the scared, fear-based ideology about, well, where are we going to store this nuclear radiation? Where are we going to store this nuclear waste? Is that going to be a nuclear waste dump? How is that going to affect the residents of this area? He has come up with a way to make not only safe nuclear energy creating facilities, but to also use all of the nuclear radiation, so that what's left over, it's inert. That's fucking cool as shit. And it's probably one of the most important inventions of this generation, because he talks about how you can create this on an assembly line in a factory. One, it's creating new jobs. Two, you can then ship these containers anywhere in the world, and third world countries can now start to have energy that is safely buried in the ground, and there is zero worry about any type of terrorism and bombs and using it for anything nefarious. I think it's just absolutely mind-boggling.
Right. It helps that he is a fucking genius.
Right. We have some very smart people. There are still some very smart people here in the United States. And if we put aside for a second profitability, if you can just break even and you have a dream to make a better standard of living for a lot of people, be inspired to do that. Not everything in your life should be focused around how much money you can make, but more along the lines of how much of a difference can I make in somebody else's life.
There you go.
There it is. So suck it.
Lickety split. So, hey, if you want to get a hold of us, you can go to theprimalscream.org. The best way to get on there. And when you're on there, go ahead and like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. You can subscribe to the podcast via theitunes.com as well as Stitcher.
Hey, that a boy.
I guessed. So sorry. Lucky I was right. And please comment. Let us know about things, ideas, topics, what assholes we are, how wonderful you think we are, whatever it is. We want to hear all about it. If you get on there, there's also a donation button. Know that anything you donate to theprimalscream.org, once our regular kind of overhead fees are taken care of, we're going to give it all away to charity. So if you want to donate,
Local charities.
please give to us. And then if you've ever thought about being a sponsor of the Primal Scream, we will fucking talk about you every 5 minutes. No, just kidding.
No.
We'll throw your images up on our website.
Yep.
And we'll promote the shit out of you. So let us know if that's something you think you want to do. Especially you in Japan. Those 12 of you in Japan that are downloading our podcast, let us know.
Hey,
Domo arigato.
And those 12
we got all
people,
kinds of shit.
Those 12 people in Japan, go ahead and tell somebody else in Japan about us. And you can watch us on or listen to us on YouTube. And currently, I am looking into, I'm not going to make any promises as to when this is going to happen, but I am looking into putting some video of myself and possibly the back of Todd's head on YouTube. So maybe we'll get some video along there instead of just the ape screaming.
There you go. That'd be awesome. But thank you for listening to us. We really appreciate it. We try to keep it light. We always go down a dark hole once in a while, but that's just us. That's what the Primal Scream is all about. Us getting our shit out of our system, screaming a little bit about stuff that's driving us crazy, and then moving on as two happy fellas.
And if you want to hear something else, if you have a topic that you're thinking, hey, you guys never discussed this aspect of something or this angle of something, or have you ever considered this? Leave some comments on YouTube. I'll have this audio on YouTube. You can like us. First of all, like us, subscribe, then leave some comments on what you'd like to hear, what you thought we talked about was bullshit. If something Todd said was annoying,
because everybody knows it's me.
Because it wouldn't be me.
Yeah.
Because I don't swear that much.
And I swear like a sailor.
I guess. So, anyway, thank you very much for listening. I'm Matt.
I'm Todd.
We'll see you later.
Yes.
Good night.